Welcome to Storytime with Sugar. Today we're reading Zelda and Ivy, The Runaways. Chapter 1, The Runaways. Dad's making cucumber sandwiches for lunch, said Ivy. Not again, said Zelda. That's it. I'm running away. Zelda stuffed her Lucky Jewel, PJs, blanket, writer's notebook, and an extra pair of socks into her suitcase. I'm coming too, said Ivy. She packed her Princess Mimi doll, PJs, tea set, and Go Fish cards. Zelda marched across the backyard. Ivy followed. Zelda spread her blanket behind the butterfly bush. Here's a good spot, she said. We can see the house, but no one in the house can see us. The Fox sisters peeked through the bush at their parents. Mom and Dad will really miss us, said Ivy. Yes, said Zelda. They'll be sorry they made us cucumber sandwiches. I'm a little hungry, said Ivy. We can't give in, said Zelda, or we'll be eating cucumber sandwiches for the rest of our lives. Ivy filled her teapot from the garden hose and peeked in the window. They don't seem to be missing us, she reported. It may take a while, said Zelda. Lucky you brought your cards. Zelda and Ivy played 14 hands of goldfish. Still, their parents did not come looking for them. I wish we had cookies, said Ivy. Be tough, said Zelda. We may have to sleep here tonight. The Fox sisters put on their PJs and waited for dark. To pass the time, they decorated the edges of the blanket with pussy willow puffs. They figured out their names backwards, Adlez and Ivy. They wrote a 2-chapter book about a worm named Philip. When they finished, they could hear their parents talking and laughing in the kitchen. We should have left a note, said Ivy. Pretty soon salsa music drifted out the window. I bet they're dancing, said Ivy. I sure love to dance. Oh, all right, Ivy, said Zelda. I don't want you to feel left out. Let's go home. The Fox sisters packed up their stuff and scurried back across the lawn. Their dad met them at the kitchen door. Oh, there you are, he said. We saved you each a delicious cucumber sandwich. Chapter 2, The Time Capsule. Zelda wrote the label with a fat pen. A gift from the world of the past to the world of the future. This is a time capsule, she said. She rubbed her Lucky Jewel against her shirt and dropped it into the box. 100 years from now, someone will open this box and find my Lucky Jewel. What are you going to put in? How about our worm book? Asked Ivy. Come on, said Zelda. Put in something really good. Remember, it's for the children of the future. Ivy sighed. She hugged Princess Mimi and added her to the box. Zelda buried the time capsule under the cherry tree. Later that day, Ivy sat on the swing and drew circles in the dirt with her paw. If only I had Princess Mimi, I could play castle. Inside the house, Zelda worked on her piano recital piece. If only I had my Lucky Jewel, I could get that crossover hands part. Outside, Ivy could stand it no longer. She dug up the time capsule and pulled out her doll. Then she noticed the box was empty. Ivy heard a noise in the bushes. She stuffed Mimi back into the box. The bushes rustled again. Out stepped Zelda. What are you doing? Just checking on Princess Mimi, Ivy admitted. She took a deep breath. Zelda, your Lucky Jewel is missing. Zelda narrowed her eyes. I might have had to borrow it back for my piano recital. Ivy opened the box again. I need Princess Mimi back too. Zelda nodded. Let's put in our worm book. Now that I think of it, I'm sure the children of the future would prefer a good story. Chapter 3, The Secret Concoction. Early one morning, Zelda sat down to write a haiku poem for her grandmother. Ivy came in, shaking a jar of liquid. What's that? Asked Zelda. I'm making a secret concoction, said Ivy. She poured in some orange juice. You should add glue, said Zelda. I don't think so, said Ivy. She mixed in a mint leaf and an eyelash. Put in cinnamon hearts, said Zelda. Make it a love potion. Ivy screwed the top back on the jar. No, she said. What are you going to do with it? Asked Zelda. We'll see, said Ivy. She gazed at the jar. She wasn't sure herself. Zelda went back to her haiku. She rubbed her forehead with her Lucky Jewel. She cracked her knuckles. Rat, she said, I'm stuck. Why not take a break, said Ivy. Ivy opened a bag of Nutty Crunchies and gave a handful to Zelda. Then she popped one into the jar. Zelda sat down again. I will finish this poem if it's the last thing I do. Eugene came over to play Go Fish with Ivy. They were on their 8th game when Zelda jumped up and stomped away. I give up, she said. Zelda is having a hard day, said Ivy. She's out of ideas. I know what she needs, said Eugene. Creative juice. Creative juice gets the ideas flowing. So what exactly is creative juice? Asked Ivy. I'm not sure, said Eugene. It's a secret concoction. Perfect, said Ivy. Eugene and Ivy got to work. When Zelda came back downstairs, Ivy handed her a present. Open it, said Eugene. Zelda tore off the paper and read the label. Creative juice. How does it work? Ivy sprinkled the creative juice on Zelda's head. Some of it spilled on the journal as well. My poem is ruined, wailed Zelda. She threw herself down on the floor. Then she looked carefully at her journal. She turned it one way and the other. Wait a minute, she said. This looks like a lake at sunset. She got out her colored pencils. I'll make a picture for Grandmother instead. Wow, said Eugene. That creative juice really works. Ivy smiled. Lucky I got the recipe right.